there. I didn't see you come in. I'm glad you're here, though. Excuse me, I was reading about amoebas. I love science. But since you're here, I did want to explain something to you, and that's how I came to Achieve 3000. What sold me on Achieve 3000? It's actually a story that is very dear to me. It's about a young man named Jacob. Before I started with Achieve 3000, I was an assistant principal, and we used Achieve 3000 at my school. And I had a student named Jacob, and Jacob started his 6th grade year at the school I was at, and he came in with a reputation. His older brothers and sisters had come through this school, and they solved all their problems with violence. In fact, when Jacob was a 6th grader, within 3 weeks of him starting school, Jacob was acting crazy in the cafeteria one day, and I tried to calm him down, tried to get him back to his seat, and he got angry because I called him out in front of his friends, and Jacob actually hit me in the face. I know, it's crazy. But anyway, long story short, that's the start with Jacob that I had. But around his 8th grade year, he came into my office with his English teacher, and he was in tears. And Jacob said, I want to be able to play football. I want to be able to do wrestling. And Jacob was a kid that usually wasn't able to pass his 6 weeks grades, and so he couldn't participate in athletics. He had never passed a state exam, the STAR exam in Texas. And so we worked with Jacob, and what we did with Jacob is we provided a incentive program for him with Achieve 3000. He started his 8th grade year at a 275 Lexile. That's right, he was on the 1st grade level. So his English teacher and I, we set goals for him, and when we did, Jacob was able to do things that you could never believe. In fact, Jacob gained 500 Lexile points that year. He did 162 lessons. Now, you know he couldn't do all of that at school. He really took ownership and started using this program at home, and Jacob made huge gains. And in fact, his 8th grade year, he had never passed a state exam. They take 4 exams in Texas in the 8th grade. He passed 3 of the 4, missed the science by 2 questions. And when I talked to Jacob afterwards, I said, Jacob, you know you gained 500 Lexile points, but that only puts you at a quote-unquote 4th grade level. And the poignant thing that Jacob said to me was, I don't care what the numbers say. Achieve 3000 made it possible for me to pass these tests because honestly, the things that I saw in Achieve 3000 were much harder than what I saw in the state test. So Jacob was able to succeed by using Achieve 3000. And again, that's the reason that I came to Achieve 3000. I want to make that type of difference with all students. And so I hope you enjoyed that story, and I'm glad you came by. And we will see you in January, folks. See you in January. Now, I'm sorry, but I'm going to go back to reading about amoebas. Just interesting. Right, ICs? Just interesting. Interesting. Cheers.